How Taiwan's low birth rate is changing society. Taiwan stands at a demographic crossroads, facing one of the world's most severe fertility challenges. With a total fertility rate that has plummeted to just 0.87 children per woman in 2023, far below the replacement level of 2.1, the island nation is experiencing a demographic transformation that will reshape every aspect of its society. This phenomenon, known as the demographic winter, is not merely a statistical concern but a fundamental shift that touches families, schools, workplaces, and communities across Taiwan. The numbers tell a story. The statistics paint a stark picture of Taiwan's demographic reality. In 2023, Taiwan recorded fewer than 140,000 births, marking another year in a declining trend that began in earnest during the 1980s. This represents a dramatic shift from the 1960s when Taiwanese families commonly had 4 or more children. The rapid decline reflects broader social and economic changes that have fundamentally altered how Taiwanese people view family planning and life priorities. The demographic transition in Taiwan has been particularly swift compared to other developed nations. While countries like Japan and South Korea experienced similar declines over several decades, Taiwan's fertility rate dropped precipitously in just 2 generations. This acceleration has created unique challenges, as society has had less time to adapt to the changing demographic landscape. Educational system in flux. Perhaps nowhere is the impact of Taiwan's low birth rate more immediately visible than in its educational system. Elementary schools that once bustled with children now face the reality of empty classrooms and consolidated grades. Rural areas have been particularly affected, with many small schools closing or merging due to insufficient enrollment. The ripple effects extend beyond mere numbers. Teachers face job uncertainty, educational resources are redistributed, and the entire pedagogical approach must adapt to smaller class sizes. The transformation of Taiwan's educational landscape reflects broader rural-urban divides. While urban areas maintain larger student populations, rural communities struggle to keep local schools open. This has led to increased educational inequality, as families in remote areas must travel greater distances for their children's education or consider relocating to urban centers. The government has responded with various initiatives to support rural education, but the fundamental challenge remains: how to maintain educational quality and accessibility when the student population continues to shrink. Higher education institutions also face unprecedented challenges. Universities that expanded rapidly during Taiwan's economic boom now compete for a shrinking pool of students. This has forced many institutions to innovate, diversify their offerings, or consider mergers. The competition has intensified the focus on educational quality, but it has also raised questions about the sustainability of Taiwan's higher education system in its current form. Workplace dynamics and economic implications. The low birth rate has created a cascade of effects throughout Taiwan's economy and workplace culture. With fewer young people entering the workforce, industries face labor shortages that are particularly acute in manufacturing, healthcare, and service sectors. Companies are increasingly turning to automation and foreign workers to fill gaps, but these solutions bring their own challenges and costs. The changing demographics have also altered workplace dynamics in unexpected ways. With fewer children to support, dual-income households have become more common, and women's participation in the workforce has increased significantly. This shift has contributed to economic growth in some sectors but has also created new pressures on work-life balance and family structures. Small and medium enterprises, which form the backbone of Taiwan's economy, face particular challenges. Many family-owned businesses struggle with succession planning as the next generation is smaller and often has different career aspirations. The traditional model of passing businesses from parent to child is being challenged by demographic realities and changing social values. Family structures and social relationships. The most profound changes may be occurring within Taiwanese families themselves. The traditional extended family structure, where multiple generations live together or in close proximity, is giving way to smaller, more nuclear arrangements. Many Taiwanese adults now find themselves part of the sandwich generation, caring for aging parents while having few or no children of their own. This shift has created new forms of social isolation and changed the nature of family relationships. Single-child families, once rare in Taiwan, are now common, leading to different childhood experiences and family dynamics. Children who grow up without siblings often develop different social skills and relationship patterns, which may have long-term implications for Taiwan's social fabric. The changing family structure has also affected housing patterns and urban planning. Demand for large family homes has decreased, while the need for elderly care facilities has grown. Communities are adapting by creating new forms of social support networks that extend beyond traditional family structures. Healthcare and aging society. Taiwan's low birth rate is creating a rapidly aging society that places unprecedented demands on healthcare systems and social services. The ratio of working-age adults to elderly dependents continues to shrink, creating what demographers call the silver tsunami. This demographic shift requires fundamental changes in healthcare delivery, long-term care planning, and social support systems. The healthcare system faces the dual challenge of serving an aging population while dealing with a shrinking workforce of healthcare professionals. Chronic diseases, dementia care, and end-of-life services require different approaches and resources than the acute care model that dominated when Taiwan's population was younger. The government has invested heavily in long-term care infrastructure, but questions remain about sustainability and quality as the elderly population continues to grow. Government responses and policy challenges. Recognizing the severity of the demographic challenge, Taiwan's government has implemented various policies aimed at encouraging childbearing and supporting families. These include cash incentives for births, expanded childcare services, extended parental leave, and housing subsidies for young families. However, the effectiveness of these measures remains limited, as they often fail to address the underlying economic and social factors that influence family planning decisions. The policy response has evolved to recognize that demographic challenges require comprehensive solutions that go beyond simple financial incentives. Recent initiatives focus on creating more family-friendly work environments, improving work-life balance, and addressing the high cost of living that makes raising children financially challenging for many families. Cultural and social transformations. The low birth rate reflects and accelerates broader cultural changes in Taiwan. Traditional values around family, marriage, and child-rearing are being questioned and redefined by younger generations who prioritize career development, personal fulfillment, and individual choice. The concept of success has expanded beyond traditional markers like marriage and parenthood to include professional achievement, travel, and personal growth. This cultural shift has created generational tensions within families and communities. Older generations, who often lived through periods of economic hardship and found meaning through family building, sometimes struggle to understand younger people's different priorities and life choices. These tensions play out in family conversations, workplace dynamics, and political discourse. Looking forward, adaptation and innovation. Despite the challenges, Taiwan's demographic transition also presents opportunities for innovation and social adaptation. The smaller, more educated population may drive technological advancement and economic efficiency. Companies are investing in automation and artificial intelligence to compensate for labor shortages, potentially increasing productivity and competitiveness. The changing demographics are also spurring innovation in urban planning, healthcare technology, and social services. Smart cities initiatives, telemedicine, and community-based care models are emerging as responses to demographic challenges. These innovations may serve as models for other countries facing similar demographic transitions. Conclusion. Taiwan's low birth rate represents more than a demographic statistic. It reflects a fundamental transformation of society that touches every aspect of life on the island. From empty classrooms to changing workplace dynamics, from evolving family structures to innovative healthcare solutions, the effects of this demographic shift are reshaping Taiwan in ways that will be felt for generations to come. The challenge for Taiwan is not simply to reverse the demographic trend, but to adapt successfully to a new demographic reality while preserving the social cohesion and economic vitality that have defined the island's success. This requires innovative thinking, adaptive policies, and a willingness to embrace new models of family, work, and community that reflect the changing values and circumstances of Taiwanese society. As Taiwan navigates this demographic transformation, its experience offers valuable lessons for other countries facing similar challenges. The island's response to its low birth rate may well become a model for how modern societies can adapt to demographic change while maintaining social stability and economic prosperity. The outcome of this transformation will determine not just Taiwan's demographic future, but the kind of society it becomes in the decades ahead.